Ever wonder what would happen if Bananarama opened the gates of hell? Well, today's movie has your answer. Welcome to Sick Flicks, where I take a deep dive into the cinematic sewer to help you embrace your inner gore geek. I'm Mike Bracken, aka the Horror Geek, and today we're tackling Luigi Cozzi's rock and roll horror flick, Paganini Horror. Released in 1988, Paganini Horror is mostly memorable because it features Dario Nicolodi, Urbano Barberini, and Donald Pleasence in the cast. It's an oddly nonsensical film that feels mostly stitched together on the fly. But can Paganini rock his way to 5 barf bags? Let's get to the gore and find out. Oh, and before we get started, today's video is brought to you by patrons F1S, sorry if I butchered your name, Laura Ricketts, and Chris Lawson. If you'd like to sponsor some videos, you'll find a link to my Patreon in the pinned comment and description below. And now, let's get bloody. We fade in on these credits. Fabrizio De Angelis presents Pure Moods, an album of ambient instrumentals from your favorite new age stars. But hey, at least the cast is solid. Here's Dario Nicolodi. We last saw her in Suspiria. Hope she gets more screen time here. Paganini Horror. I love those little pressed sandwiches. I'm glad this video is catered. What's that? The sandwiches are called paninis. Paganini was a composer? My bad. I guess I have to scrap all the Subway jokes I had ready. Anyway, this chick's boating to the office. They're going gondola. He was gonna ask Skiff if she was enjoying the ride, but he didn't want to start a row. 3 puns in 2 sentences. I'm not screwing around. One thing I'll give these credits, they're definitely not trying to convince you any of these actors are Americans. Wait, spoke too soon. Here's some guy pretending to be Donald Pleasence. Wait, that is Donald Pleasence. We last saw him in American Rickshaw. Man, this movie's awesome level just went up by 1,000. We then jump inside for some POV action. Sounds like someone needs to put some WD-40 on the camera, though. Ah, she's playing The Witch's Dance, the lesser-known sequel to the Monster Mash. So, what did you think of that rendition, Ian Sarah?
It stinks.
I do admire the attention to detail here.
Have you finished practicing? You got a new lesson today.
That echo really makes it sound like they filmed this in a bathroom. Or the Grand Canyon. Oh, sweet, she's got a John Michael Skeletor figure. Mom's busy having a Calgon moment, but if you guessed our little Paganini was gonna toss this hairdryer into the tub, give yourself a screenwriter's credit. I, for one, would like to say I'm shocked by the level of daughter-on-mother violence in this film. I feel like Luigi Cozzi might be using an outdated version of After Effects here too. Well, Mom's dead. Let's drum up some interest in our other plot. This Italian Go-Go's cover band is pretty terrible.
Turn it down lower.
Like all the way to 0. Oh, it's just a Bon Jovi cover band. Also, are we still in the credits? Come on, Paganini Horror. This song might really be the perfect encapsulation of what it was like to be in Italy circa 1988. All it's missing is a Swatch watch. Do you kids even remember Swatch watches? Christ, I'm old.
Swatch, the new wave in Swiss watches.
They're just singing You Give Love a Bad Name. If a monster doesn't kill them, Bon Jovi's copyright lawyer surely will. Oh yeah, she's really digging this. That expression says it all. So basically, this is what happens when you give the backup singers in Robert Palmer's Addicted to Love video their own band. Still better than Toto, though.
Stop the tape, Paul. I can't take anymore.
And she agrees. And the credits are still going. Here's Luigi Cozzi telling you he's 100% all-American male.
So you don't like this one either, huh?
Well, let's ask Aunt Sarah what he thinks.
It stinks.
This reminds me of that Metallica documentary.
It's the same old stuff. There's nothing original about it.
I feel like all of Paganini Horror is one giant bad acting showdown so far, but let's stop for a moment to appreciate this masterclass in acting.
I cannot make million-selling records all the time. I just can't. Yeah, but this one wouldn't sell 1,000, Kate.
Whoa, let's not say things we can't take back. Words hurt. This dude's like, chicks.
That's what people expect from you. Another hit, not rehashed bullshit.
I'm not sure if this is a line of dialogue or a thesis statement on the downfall of late 1980s Italian horror cinema. Since that scene was pretty intense, let's relax with some more boating. This guy's about to dock. Too bad none of his peers are here. Dude looks like he's on an episode of Miami Vice. I admire the mismatched denim look. Oh, he's here to meet Donald Pleasence. Or maybe it's Philip Marlowe. It's hard to tell with this getup. Also, why the fuck did they dub Donald Pleasence's voice?
Did you bring what I asked for on the telephone?
Yes, sir. I've got every knockoff Michael Myers mask I could find on Wish.com.
It contains only one thing, but it could mean a lot to the person who possesses it. Check it if you like. The combination is 666.
Oh, come on, movie. That's not even remotely subtle. Are you even trying? I guess it does make sense. That's a giant J full of the devil's lettuce in there. Then we jump over here. Dude's like an Italian Billy Joel. Sing us a song, Mr. Piano Man.
This is the song for Kate.
I'm not even remotely convinced this dude is actually playing the piano. And then it's time for some exposition.
It's a song written by Niccolo Paganini. I have the original parchment, the real thing.
Dot matrix sheet music. This movie really was made in the 80s. This chick's like, oh great, does that mean we're gonna have to give him a cut of the royalties?
Do you mean Paganini, the famous Italian violinist?
Yeah.
No, I mean Vince Paganini. Duh.
Let's just say that there's an interesting little secret behind it.
Well, nothing's happening, so might as well dump some more exposition here, I guess.
Paganini wrote this song 200 years ago for some secret use, some secret sect that held mysterious ceremonies at night.
And title mention.
We can use the title Paganini Horror. It's gonna be fantastic.
I really feel like this movie is phoning it in already.
No one has ever done anything remotely like it before, except for Michael Jackson with Thriller and his fantastic video clip.
Well, and you know, Paganini.
We hire Mark Singer, the director, the king of horror.
Wait, they're gonna hire Mark Singer to direct? Did they never see Beastmaster? And over in another movie, this guy is skulking around under the cover of Blue Filter Mid-Afternoon. Not gonna lie, this dude looks like a sort of frillier version of Blade from Puppet Master. Inside, they're hard at work on this Italian ripoff of Madonna's Like a Virgin video. And now our masked musician is inside. I hope this isn't about to become a case of domestic violence. Kate here continues the long-standing tradition of Italian horror film leading ladies by having exactly one expression. This could be confounded, enraged, or apathetic. Say what you will, but this really does seem like a nice day for a white wedding. Kate eventually winds up in this weird room. Great, she's gonna summon the Cenobites. Then we stop for a little contract law. I'm not sure this is legally binding.
A contract has been stipulated between Niccolo Paganini and the devil, wherein the musician is granted eternal fame in exchange for his soul.
And jump scare. Man, he was hiding right in the fiddle of the room this whole time. Then he's really sticking it in her.
Hell yeah.
No, not like that, you pervs. I mean, he's stabbing her with this knife. And if you guessed this was all part of the filming of the new music video, give yourself another screenwriter's credit.
That's it. That's great. Hit her again. Harder.
Oh, and Dario Nicolodi finally decided to show up. Nice of you to join us 20 minutes into the movie. And hey, look, it's Urbano Barberini making yet another Sick Flicks appearance.
You were both great. This scene'll knock 'em dead.
You sure the censor won't decide to cut it out?
Oh, I see these guys have to deal with Prude Tube too. Then this happens.
Do you know that your last picture kept me awake nights?
That's my job as a filmmaker.
Then there's my job, to pay and pay and pay.
Is anyone gonna tell her the scene is over? No? Cool. After that, we're back on the water. I was gonna make some canal jokes, but that ship has sailed. And I guess we'll just follow Donald Pleasence as he runs a few errands and drops off his dry cleaning. Maybe they're just filming Pleasence on vacation. He's definitely not acting at this point. I don't want to alarm anyone, but I think Cozzi was basically just like, roll camera. Maybe something interesting will happen eventually. Oh, he just came up here to make it rain. Usually you don't get to see how much money is wasted on the set of a movie. What the hell is this? This season of The Masked Singer is weird. I will say this is all pretty fitting. Kate spent her entire career surrounded by dummies. And I'm sure you've heard of the Pointer Sisters, so let me introduce you to the musical stylings of the Pointless Sisters. Milli Vanilli lip sync better than this chick. Look out, this dude's got the fog machine stuck on the Bob Marley music video setting. And Urbano Barberini is a real pro. He shot this whole video in one take with one camera.
That's enough for me.
House establishing shot. Afterwards, this girl's gonna touch up her makeup. But look out, Snoop Dogg is creeping on her. Looks like all that smoking will really dry you out. And what's with this voice?
I am not Daniel.
Least intimidating horror movie killer voice ever. It's bad news for her because Paganini here likes to play in B sharp. And Fulci eye zoom, even though this is not a Fulci movie. And another house establishing shot. You know, just in case you forgot, we never left the house. With one band member missing, Mark Singer has to come up with a replacement.
Well, mannequins! That's the solution!
It's perfect. We'll get Andrew McCarthy and Kim Cattrall to film the rest of our scenes. Daniel heads off to look for mannequins, but all he finds is this hourglass from my favorite soap opera.
Like sands through the hourglass, so are the days of our lives.
And I guess his time is up. Kinda lame we don't get to see the kill. Back outside, everyone's looking for Rita.
Rita!
Might be hard to find her with all this blue filter. I don't know, should they maybe spread out a bit? Cozzi is really abusing the blue filter here. I mean, this is D'Amato level abuse of blue filter. They head inside, and man, the blue filter even followed them there. Then they find a bunch of ashes. Clearly Daniel had a smoking hot body. While they're debating what the best receptacle is for Daniel's remains, the bottom falls out of Kate's music career. This movie has some bad plot holes. And damn, that hole just gave him the shocker. Turns out there's nothing to fear. The hole just leads to an underground Philip Glass jam session. Dear Lord, look at this effect. That might be the first and last spinning house establishing shot in this show's history. Mark and Elena make a break for it, but too bad they took the Ford Pinto. I think we all know how this is gonna end. Explosively. You could say Mark's filmmaking career is really going up in smoke. And none of them want to put into words just how delicious Mark smells right now. With nothing better to do, the ladies decide to explore the hole.
Hell yeah.
No, not like that, you pervs. They're going down into the hole to find Kate. Clearly none of these women saw the descent. Yeah, she's going spelunking in heels and a skirt. What could go wrong? Back up top, Elena appears to be turning into Jordy Verrill from Creepshow.
What is it?
Dario Nicolodi, meanwhile, heads upstairs. Daria? I don't think you need the flashlight. It's pretty bright in there. Eventually, she winds up outside, where she finds Kate. If you feel like Paganini Horror is taking a long time to go nowhere right now, I'm totally with you. Elena's still missing, but I think these ketchup and mustard trails might lead the girls to her. She must have been hot dogging it up these steps. Man, I really wonder what they're gonna find at the end of this trail. What? A mutated Elena? Even Daniel, the blind pianist from Suspiria, saw that one coming. But hold on, because shit's about to get crazier.
This mold, I've seen it before. It's a special fungus that they discovered in the 18th century on logs. Wood that was used to make the most precious violins.
Yeah, you're right.
Ah, yes, record producer by day, mycologist in her spare time. Say what you will, but this seems like some really spore screenwriting to me. Anyway, don't worry. Kate has a plan to defeat Paganini once and for all.
We have to fight the monster with his own tools. Because he came into this house with Daniel's music. So the only way we have to send him to hell is to use it as our weapon.
Sweet, we're gonna have a violin fight. It's like the devil went down to Georgia. Dario Nicolodi's like, are you high? Because you sound high. Then she gets philosophical.
But mathematics is just like music. Music is 5 lines and 7 circles, the notes. And with those elements, you can get all music.
I don't want to alarm anyone, but I think they're just basically ad-libbing the script of the movie at this point.
Stars, in their revolutions, make really their own sounds.
How does she know any of this? She just rented them a creepy house to shoot a music video. Clearly she's Stephen Hawking in her spare time.
But how? We're in a complete blackout.
Lavinia, you're forgetting that we have a violin.
Have you ever heard of a little show called MTV's Unplugged? We're going acoustic. I feel like this new version of Josie and the Pussycats kinda sucks. Oh god, she's gonna play the violin. This really was the worst Jethro Tull lineup ever. While she's playing, we might as well get in another house establishing shot. Man, I remember when Donald Pleasence was in this movie. I wonder where he went. Cozzi is just shamelessly padding the runtime here. He's not even trying to hide it. Thank you, Venice. Good night. There'll be no encore. With the concert over, they head out to investigate. I swear to God, 90% of this movie was shot with blue filter. That or the movie's just slowly asphyxiating right in front of our eyes. Oh no, now she's gonna do one of those mime shows where she pretends there's an invisible wall in front of her. Her getting electrocuted mime bit needs some work too. And house establishing shot. Inside, Kate does her best Shatner.
Of course.
If you guessed the solution here was playing Paganini backwards, give yourself another screenwriter's credit. You're gonna graduate early at this rate.
So to close the gate, we just have to play the music to the contrary.
Then the sheet music catches on fire. This is clearly a hot track. And Lavinia gets crushed by something. It's a real smashing good time, though. Then Paganini shows up. Bastard! No, not like that, Daria. Like this. Bastard! Bastard! And we cut away. I feel like Cozzi is not only blue filtering us, but he's blue balling us on the kills. Back inside, Budget King Crimson is getting ready for his tour. Damn it, why don't we have roadies to do this? Then he starts playing. Good thing Paganini is a violinist. He plays everything by ear. Plays it by ear. That's pretty good for this show. And another house establishing shot. This dude is like the MF Doom of classical music. Inside, Kate's performing this Alicia Keys cover. It's burning up the charts. But somehow, the sun rising makes Paganini start smoking like a vampire. Yeah, sure, let's just roll with that. And then he dies. Man, this ending really fell off a cliff. So, wait, Paganini was just randomly defeated by the sun, and this was never even mentioned earlier in the movie? Kate was the final girl who did absolutely nothing? What the hell, Luigi Cozzi? If you looked up anticlimactic in the dictionary, there's just a clip of this scene. Kate escapes and is like, time to get the band back together. Oh, wait, they're all dead. I was ready to go solo anyway. And you know, there's a swerve ending coming. Wait for it. Oh look, it's Dario Nicolodi. Is this movie still going on? I'm just here for the premiere and the red carpet event. And she brought Donald Pleasence with her too. Why does he look like he's Odd Job? And here comes the exposition. Dario Nicolodi was the little girl who killed her mother way back at the start of the movie. And after some more jibber jabber, we learn this is basically hell.
They're living in another time layer. And so it all starts over again.
Oh no, I'm in hell too? I've been dead this whole time? My punishment is watching Paganini Horror on repeat? No.
I don't like people who sell their souls.
Kate thinks she's free from this nightmare, but Donald Pleasence points out the fine print in her contract. And the cycle begins anew.
I know you're just going to love living here. You're just the right types to enjoy a place like this.
By the late 80s, the Italian horror boom was on its last legs. Gone were the days of exuberantly stylish and gory films like Suspiria and The Beyond, replaced by middling fare like Paganini Horror. It was the beginning of the end, and while the last films of the cycle aren't as good as the classics, there's still fun to be had. Paganini Horror will never be mistaken for a great film, but I like it anyway. It's goofy, nonsensical, and totally 80s, but that's part of the charm. But is Paganini Horror a sick flick? Let's go to the gore card! In terms of gross anatomy, Paganini Horror hits a bit of a flat note. We're treated to a few stabbings, the squishing death, and Elena turning into a fungus. But that's about it. The fungus effect is actually pretty solid, but that's not enough to justify anything more than a very generous 2 barf bag rating. Paganini Horror isn't a sick flick, but it's fun despite that. Looking for another Luigi Cozzi film with more gore? Then be sure to check out my review of Contamination. You'll find a link here on the screen after my outtakes. I'll meet you over there. Until next time, I'm Mike Bracken, aka The Horror Geek, bringing you all the splatter that matters. I do admire the attention to detail here. I do admire the attention to detail. Oh my god, why can't I say detail? Let the teleprompter get ahead of me. Here's Luigi Cozzi telling you he's 100... Reading off a teleprompter is a lot harder than it looks. That was a rough one. It's perfect. We'll get Andrew McCarthy and Kim Cattrall to... We have lost the internet.